Hey everyone, I'm Cherry, mama to an almost 7-year-old, founder of Parenting Littles, and lover of all things child development. So I am super excited for this collaboration with LOULOU Lollipop to answer your questions around babies, toddlers, tantrums, meltdowns, sleep, all of those fun things. So let's get started. The first question is a question around how do I help my baby reach motor milestones like sitting up? So contrary to popular belief, putting our babies in a seated position actually doesn't help them learn to sit. Because often you'll notice when you put your baby in the seated position before they're ready, they're slumped over, they can't really move, and the minute that you let go, they fall backwards. So what's gonna help them learn to sit is actually to give them a lot of floor time, to be on their tummies, to be on their backs, to strengthen their core muscles, to work on their abs, work on strengthening their arms and coordinating their arm muscles, strengthening their leg muscles. And when they're ready, they will actually push up into the seated position by themselves. And it's one of the best ways to encourage independence in our little ones as well. Another question is, at what age do I start teaching my baby manners like please and thank you? So with much of parenting, it's all about us modeling the behaviors, and our little ones pick it up as they see us use it. So as we're handing our baby things or asking our baby for items, we can start to incorporate please and thank you into our language. And as we do that, they'll start to pick it up on their own and they'll start to model it back to us. But know that to actually understand the concept and the meaning of please and thank you like we do as adults, that's more of an older preschooler skill. So about 3 years old, where they're able to take another person's perspective, that's when they really understand what it truly means to say please and thank you. But it's not to say that you can't start incorporating that into your daily routines and tasks with your little ones now for them to start picking it up and start to use it. So let's talk about tantrums. A question I get asked a lot is, how do I deal with the tantrums, right? It happens all the time. Our little ones may have wanted the blue cup instead of the pink cup, and then they end up having a meltdown because of it. For us, it might not seem like a big deal, but the key to dealing with tantrums is actually to be able to see the situation from our little one's perspective. So this is where we get to put on our empathy hat, and we get to look at the situation from how they're experiencing it. And 3 simple steps for you is, 1, to first acknowledge those emotions, see them for what they are. 2nd is to empathize with them. Hey, I know that's really upsetting, or I know you're really upset that you didn't get that blue cup. And then the 3rd step is then to problem solve with them to solve the situation. You know what, we don't have the blue cup today. What about a green cup or an orange cup? You know, something like that where you can work through the situation together. But there is so much more about in terms of tantrums, so I promise that we will have a blog post coming up to dive more into that. All right, so the last question for this Q&A segment is around whether I have any general tips around sleep. So with sleep, it's one of those things where if what you're doing is working for you right now, keep doing that. But if you're noticing that with sleep, there are some things that aren't working or some things that you feel like you would like to do differently, here's where we can look at some different solutions. If I were to offer just one tip, I would say offer your baby that gift to learn and to practice how to fall asleep, right? And this is such a crucial skill where it's actually a skill that they need to learn. How do I actually lay down and go to sleep by myself? How do I fall asleep, right? Without needing to be rocked or cuddled or nursed or, any of these things that might end up becoming crutches. How do I actually learn to lay down, find a comfy position, and fall asleep? So that would be my one tip for you. I actually have quite a few more tips that I have written on a blog post for LOULOU Lollipop. So if you swipe up, you'll be able to read the other tips I have to share around sleep.